remember, with our short releases, we're just going to attack the side we throw with. So I'm going to be doing this as if I'm a right-handed pitcher because I am right-handed. First thing we want to attack is we want to go ahead and release the lats. So if we want to find out where the ball is going to be placed, remember we put that thumb in between. Wherever these four fingers land right here, that's where that ball is going to be placed. So when I'm here, I'm holding that spot, and I want to be sure I'm right-handed, so I'm staying on that right side. I want to be sure I'm putting that energy and I'm putting the weight. My shoulders are stacked. I'm right here. This will be uncomfortable, and that's okay. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. That's how we release knots and adhesions. So the first thing we do is we're on top of that tissue, fully stacked. We're going to reach, and we're going to make circles clockwise. We're going to go 10 circles. If you hear me breathing, it's because I'm a little tight today too. I was driving all day yesterday, so lats are likely tight along with my chest. Once the 10 are done, then we do 10 counterclockwise. Really, really stay on top of that ball. Really, really dig it. Once we do 10, we're going to floss it. So flossing is about taking the tissue through a full range of motion. So now I'm going to go all the way forward. Okay. I'm going to put the thumb up as I do that. So I'm going to reach back, bring the thumb. Reach back, hitchhike, bring the thumb. We're going to do this 10 times. 3, 4. Oh, this feels good. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once we're there, I'm going to grab my shoulder, and I'm going to get even more on top of that ball. And staying stacked, I'm going to kind of just maneuver through and smash that tissue a little bit. If you feel the laces, even better. We're going to be here. You're just kind of back and forth on it. Just really, really make it nice and malleable. There we go. 10 seconds. Really just drive that lat into there. 5. And relax. Okay. So now we're going to lengthen a little more. So if we have the time and we have the opportunity, remember, we always want to release tissue first. If that's the only time we've got, it should take you 5 minutes to do your release program, the short release program in between games or right before you're pitching as part of your warm-up. Or if you're done pitching, release the tissue as well so that we feel good. Understand the softball is hard. You can still release tissue if it hurts too much. Find a softer object. That's perfectly acceptable. That's okay. We just want the tissues to realign, form their normal length tension relationships, and then start to perform. So where we put the ball with our chest is we're going to put the 4 fingers in our armpit now, back of our armpit, and then wherever the thumb falls, that's where the ball goes. And so now I'm going to keep the ball where that thumb was. I'm on top of it. I'm going to turn my head away. I'm going to take my thumb, point it towards my butt right here, and I'm going to lift 10 times. Keeping the ball in that spot on my chest. Should feel some discomfort. That's perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. 10 times, 45 degrees with the thumb out. 10 again. Good. Now we're going to floss. So for our floss here with our chest, we want to be sure that the hand goes all the way up, thumb goes up, elbow goes all the way back. You can see your thumb pointing to your shoulder, and then reach out again. If the ball moves too much, use your left hand to kind of hold it still and brace it. Use that left hand to hold it still and brace it a little bit. So I'm here flossing 10 times. Uncomfortable, painful, it hurts. That's okay. Work through it. Really allow those tissues to really become pliable. 10 times. Really sink into it. Ooh, that's the spot right there. I'm gonna do a couple more. And relax. Okay. Next thing we want to do, we're going to take that right shoulder a little more. And so the part on our right shoulder, you can do this two ways. You can either put this against like the dugout, the backstop, and you can have it leaned into your shoulder. Or if we do it on the ground, it's a little more difficult, but we can still have it taken care of. We're going to get, when that front part of our shoulder goes up, you're going to feel this like crease right here that we see. That muscle that's on top of the crease is what we want against the ball, right there. Okay, from that point, you're kind of just gonna, after you sit on it, you put some pressure. You can use your hand to kind of put more or less, and you're gonna bring your hand all the way down to the ground and up. We're gonna do this 20 times. Stay on that same spot. It's painful. If it's not hard enough, you can get the laces right on top of that spot. $20. Once the 20 is done, now you can position a little deeper. Now, straighten it, floss through it. Pinky to the thigh, thumb to the arm. 10 times. Woo, this one hurts. Feels so good. 9, 10. This one, no extra. That one's painful. All right. So, if you move your right arm around, where your left arm, if you rolled your left out, and compare it to the other side, should feel a significant difference. That's how we want the tissue to feel. Okay, you want to feel like there's some tightness happening here, and this one just kind of loose. One last thing before we go. We want to take hand back here. Okay, so I want to pull my right shoulder down. Once I have the right shoulder down, okay, I'm going to turn my head, eyes to the corner. You'll feel that stretch along your neck. Keep pulling the shoulder down. 35 seconds. Da, 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 da. 35 seconds. Hey, Jason, do you have, what do you have underneath the turf? Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And relax. Okay. Shoulder stretched, everything ready. Okay. So now for the lower body, we want to understand that typically two things. If I still have my stiff back leg, meaning your leg straightens out before you move forward, likely you're going to have an overactive adductor. So this muscle in here, in which case you'd push the ball there. Okay. For those of us that are already starting to use the back leg and still have leverage, we still want to be sure that our hip flexors are not dominating this movement. Okay. Our hip flexors are dominating this movement. The way we want to release the tissue is we want to find hip bone, so wherever your hip bone is, and you're going to go about 2 inches down, and that's where we're going to push the ball. Preferably, if you have something to rest your chest on, that's good, because what's going to happen naturally is if I lay flat on this spot, I'm going to have some curve in my back. So in order to help with that, if we don't have anything to put our stomach on, you're going to bring the opposite leg up. So everyone should have the ball. We're going to do both sides on their left leg. Okay. Right knee is up, just like that. Okay, pressure into that spot, 2 inches below your hip bone, so find it. If you don't feel too much there, then you can kind of move up until you find the spot with the most pain. This is where I'm at for me. Now from here, I want to drive deeper into it, so I'm just going to rest right here, and I'm going to bring my heel up and down and do this 20 times. It's going to make it hurt more and dig deeper, but that's okay. Really pull the heel towards your butt. Be sure your back doesn't curve to the ground. Try to keep it as flat as possible. Otherwise, we're not going to get the same effect. So I'm trying to keep my back flat and not let my stomach go down. 5 more. Little extra. Other side. So remember, I'm finding my hip bone 2 inches below. Pretty much where we're going to have that ball. Ooh, this one's tight. If you feel one more uncomfortable than the other, understand that's likely because you use that hip flexor more than the other. And for a lot of us, that'll be if we have a poor stride, meaning you try to swing your stride through, generally that hip flexor is going to be tighter on that side. 20, keep the back flat. Ooh, man, this one is spectacular. $19, $20. Ugh, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so now we want to grab our band. We get the glutes working and the hamstring working. 2 bands. One goes around the kneecap. The other one around the arch. And we are on our back. Oops. On our back. Knees slightly bent here. So we want to be sure we're not letting this middle band around our knees. Keep our knees in. We want to be outside our hips. So don't let your knees cave in. Your knees should always be outside and over the top of your pinky toe. So we're going to take one deep breath. Should be good at this by now. Inhale. Big belly when you inhale. Ribs, diaphragm expands. Exhale. Driving everything into the ground. Keep that spine pressed to the ground. 10 toes flexed. Squeezing our stomach. 10 toes flexed. Squeeze your butt. Now we're squeezing the butt. The count of 3, we're going to dig the heels. And that's going to take us off the ground. 1, 2, 3. Dig the heels. Back of the leg is on fire already. Pulling the toes. Left leg. Pull. Keeping the butt off the ground. Slowly bring it back. Dig, dig, dig. Don't fidget your feet. Pull the toes. Heels out. Right leg. Pull. Keep the heel out. Toes flexed. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Switch. Squeeze the butt. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Switch. Keep the butt up. Drive the hips. Switch. Toes, toes, toes. Knees out. And down. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze the butt. Dig the heels. Pull the toes. Start to walk your feet. Heels. Keeping your butt up. Now my butt's real high. All I'm going to do is turn the bands and pull them apart. Dig the heels. Squeeze the butt. Squeeze the butt, dig the heels inward at an angle. Keeping the band pulled apart, toes flexed up. Hold this position, 10 seconds. Squeeze the butt as hard as you can. Stomach tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Feels great. Sometimes when you really do these drills really well, our groundwork, you will feel some popping in your low back, popping in your shin, knee. Understand that when we create tension like that, a lot of times it's going to create better alignment for our tissues and bones. So that's just the sound of tibia shifting, femur, all these things starting to kind of return to a good place because you're providing them with excess and new information and sensory information. Now, let's finish off the glute with our corkscrew. So our corkscrew, remember, as we've started talking about, once we've established that we're really good with getting on that transverse arch, the sweet spot within the sweet spot is that calcaneal foot. So calcaneal foot, if we want to think of this as my foot, it is underneath your fourth toe and underneath your pinky and the inside of your heel, that spot. So if I were standing and I shifted all my weight to my outside toes, my outside two toes, my weight naturally, my knees go outside and my weight naturally goes to the inner heel. Perfectly acceptable, perfectly acceptable. So now I'm here, okay, this position, knee always outside the pinky toe. I'm gonna do my corkscrew. When we do our corkscrews, remember, you stay in this box, meaning I don't lean this way, the knee slides out, I rotate like a snake around my spine. So when I'm here, watch me first. If you haven't done it, just watch first. I'm here, I'm gonna cross my arms. All I do is rotate. Notice all my weight, outside foot, knee slides out. I'm gonna feel a lot of torque in my hip. The other thing I want you to notice is look at my back heel. My back heel starts to rotate out because this hip is rotating in as my right hip rotates out. And that means I stay in the middle. I'm just relaxed and turned. Okay? Does that make sense? Let's try it. We want to find this burning right here, right here, right here. So, right foot first, stack, stagger, shoulder, knee, hip. Okay? I'll just show you this way. So we know the knee slides out. Knee starts over the pinky toe. Cross the arms. As we screw towards the knee that's forward, always towards the knee that's up front. Rotate those hips. We should feel this burning. Notice my knee is still over my arch, but I'm sliding it out, not forward, out. Right here, right over that pinky. Outside edge. Feel it right here. I'm gonna sit here 5 more seconds. 5, 4, be sure that back heel turns away from you and you're on that pinky. And relax. Relax, relax, relax. Okay, let's do the other side. Left foot, left foot. If you're not finding that real deep burning in the corner of your hip, understand that we're probably lacking hip rotation, and what you're trying to do is lean again. You're trying to lean over. I'm tight. I'm completely, like I said, a snake trying to wrap around the spine. Left foot. Here we go. Knee slides out. Foot, cross, slides out even more. Right there. Find that outside. Find that hip. Find that hip. Find it. Hold. Eight seconds. And relax. That was a quick 8. Probably counted a little too long, too short. Okay, so hips should be ready. Arms should be really loose. Okay, we're going to continue. Today is going to be a very extension dominant day. So remember, as we continue to build these BP sessions, we always want to have a focus. If I'm trying to throw gas that day, I want to have a focus on the part that I'm working on, and I want to make sure that that's my only goal for the day. If hip extension, we're not getting hip extension, if that's our goal, all the exercises that help develop that should be things we do, okay? So what we're going to do is, if you have a band, okay, we're going to anchor it to a bottom position. You do not need resistance to perform this exercise. You do not. This is about things we've talked about over and over again. When I'm in my stance, we talk about triangles all the time. When I form this triangle, here's my front triangle, my back triangle. If you had a pull to my butt, you'd see that back triangle. I want to learn that as I project forward, as I create that instance, my knee drops. Understand that your knee goes down because your hip is moving through. This is a big bony structure. Big bony structure. If your knee stays at the same height as you're moving forward, you're going to go up. You're going to go up because your pelvis has nowhere to go but up, because you didn't give it space. Your femur, your thigh bone, is attached to your pelvis, your hips. So if your hips are moving straight, this naturally is going to do what? Has to move down to make space. So if you're watching your video and you don't see that happening, you're likely not going to get to the hip extension you want, and you're going to have that low back issue. So we want to learn how that happens. And we're going to do it from a space where first we don't have to worry about dropping the knees down. So the way we do that, and like I said, you don't have to have a band. We're on our knees. You can be either foot down, toes up. Sometimes we lack the flexibility to be toes up, so your foot down. Note, and here's the thing, your knees are still hip width apart. Now, if my feet are down like that, if you have the band on, you're going to let the band do the job of helping you create that triangle. Notice, from here, knee, shoulder. I want you to watch. All that happens if my hips extend is I don't go up, my hips go through, and this becomes my straight line. That's all that happens. Notice, I'm not curving my low back and sticking my ribs and my stomach out. I'm just here. Cross the heart. And when I say drive, we are squeeze the butt. Everything you just felt in that frog bridge position that we just finished, that's all you're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do. So I'm here. Be very aware of what your head is doing. Just have your head in line with your spine, your neck. Squeeze the butt. Triangle. Squeeze the butt. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing, driving our hips to extension. Okay? We're violent about it, so very aggressive. But notice, it looks like I hit a brick wall because I stop at extension. I don't try to get further by just curving my back. So we're going to do 10 of these. If you have your toes up, you're not going to be as deep as you would if your feet are flat because your toes are up. So we're here. We've got 10. Remember, if you don't have a band, you're doing the same thing. You can squeeze your butt exactly the way you did with your bands on. If your butt doesn't squeeze that hard, that's a brain thing. You're not making your brain work that hard. That's why we do that drill first, so you know what it feels like to, and then you make it happen in more of a natural way. Get set, and 1. Set, and 2. Be violent. Get set, squeeze those hips, and 3. Set, and 4. Set, and 5. Set, and 6. Set, and 7. Set, and 8. Set, and 9. Set, and 10. Set. Be very aware. My head and my neck just follow what my hips are doing. It's the same thing. If my knee goes down to make space for my hips to move forward, then my spine, which is attached to my pelvis, will naturally be brought up. It's a big problem that a lot of us have. Our head and shoulders get pulled up because you stand like this and everything is good here, but this happens. Your neck is your cervical spine. So that means your spine's going to try to accommodate and balance out this. And it does that by creating that swinging motion. We don't want to swing. We want to drive and thrust through. Does that make sense? Okay, so we've got 10 there, 10 there. Next, like I said, if you have a slider, or you can use a towel, okay, this is what we're doing. We're going to focus on creating hip socket movement. And so what I mean by that is if you kind of bend this leg, keep the knee outside, of course, okay, and you push this heel out, you should be able to turn the whole leg through your hip. You want to feel that, push your heel out, feel that socket turn. That is what we want to be able to use to bring our leg in. So if you watch me, we have the towel, you can use a plate on carpet. There's a lot of things you can use, okay? And I'll show this first. So it's gonna look like a side lunge, but I'm not worried about lunging. I'm worried about how long can I keep this knee over this foot. So I'm here. That's the position I want. Knee is over the foot. Now I wanna, if my hip is that way, notice the heel is out, I wanna be able to return. So I'm here and I'm driving my hips through. I'm turning that knob. You wanna think of it, it's the corner, turn. So I'm here. So in that socket, you wanna turn the socket. So I'm here, knee slides out, big toe is up. This turns and I'm here and I wanna around the hip. Let the heel whip that way. Drive the hips, turn the socket. Now, if I don't have either of those things, I can't make that slide happen, easy. Start right here. Start in the same position that you saw me at. So heel is out, knee in line, pointing to this toe. And all you're doing is from this position, all you're doing, rotate the hips, and drive them. You should feel a lot of energy get released through here, okay? So we're gonna do that 8 times. Set, and out, and up, drive it. Drive it. Squeeze those hips. 2. See, that was a bad one. My heel didn't flip. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Now with the other side, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do it the way without the slider. So starting in that position, heel out over the pinky toe, knee out, rotate around the hip, rotate around, drive the hip. Let the socket whip around. And squeeze the hips that way, swing around. Let the heel fly out. Drive. If you're right-handed, should kind of felt like hitting a little bit. If you're left, should kind of feel like that a little bit too. Here. Is that 3 or 4? We'll go 3. 4. 5. Corkscrew. 6. 2 more. 7. Last one. And 8. Good. So 8 in each side. Now, progressing. Got our hips moving. Now we want to do it from our stagger. So if, right-handed, right foot is up, left-handed, left foot will be up. We'll do it as if I'm right-handed. You can use the band if you want. If you don't have a band, doesn't matter. All we're focused right now is creating the triangle, having that straight drive with our hips. So we're going to focus on being sure that our knees drop, and we create energy. So what that'll look like is I'm here, okay? You can have my hands like nice and relaxed. You're a little different than your regular pitching stance. It's toe, heel, okay? So I'm here, just watch me first. My goals, like I said, pull these shorts up some more so you can see my knees better. So my goals, like I said, when I'm here, are I want to create the same thing. I want my fall to happen so the body moves. Now, at that moment, right before that step happened naturally, that's where I'm attacking. You're going to see my knees drop and me attack with my hips. And once again, just like our kneeling hip drive, it's going to look like I hit a brick wall. I'm here and driving the hips. This foot moves forward as a result of what I put into the ground. That's very important. Do not stride this out. That's the first mistake you're going to make. You're going to try to stride it out, and it's going to be terrible. Terrible. Your stride happens as a result of what you put into the ground. Period. Period. That's how we run. That's how we jump. That's how we sprint. If you continually try to have to pull your leg forward and through, you're going to follow it. You're at the mercy of whatever that foot does because you swung it. Whatever you swing, it's the same thing that happens if when we're hitting, we don't stay back and we chicken wing a little bit. What happens? We're at the mercy. We roll over. We get to extension to it. All those bad things happen because of the prior movement. They're a result. Okay? Same thing with your stride leg. If I'm not creating that energy, notice there's a significant, I hit the wall, and then the leftover energy kind of jerks that foot forward. I'm not worried about moving my back leg. I'm worried about attacking the ground and getting to my hips quickly. So once again, I'm here, drive the hips, okay? If you have trouble continually striding, just give yourself a rule. Don't move your feet. Keep your front foot pulled backwards and just get to the hips. Focus on drop the knees, drive the hips. Foot, knee, drop, hip. Foot, knee, drop, hip. And by foot, I mean drive the feet into the ground. You're always doing it. So we've got 10, 10, 10, 10. Nice and relaxed. Here, knee drop, push, push with the knee drop, and then see, I'm just going to finish my hips. Get set. And 1. Drop the hips. And 2. Remember, knees always outside that pinky toe. This back foot, the heel can turn out a little. Be comfortable. Be comfortable. Be comfortable. And pop. 4. And pop. 5. Put that energy in the ground. And pop. 6. 2 more. And 7. Last one. Knees out, heel out, pop. I didn't say it, sorry. Do it again. 8. Good. So those drills, okay, we did 4 different ones. Now, we're going to blend. We're going to blend. Let's get the arm ready. Let's get it loose a little bit. So if we have our med ball, we're going to do our lat snap downs. Here's something that we want to understand, with our snap downs. If, and this is why you got to understand, all these blended drills, they're to help us understand what a system feels like. The lat snap downs help us find the similarity between how hard we can actually work when we pull and we lead through the elbow, when we have that disconnect, and what I mean by that, if you feel arms slow or you can't feel yourself get through that pull down and finish, stop, go hit some lat snap downs, go hit some, and then throw again. Understand that the reason we blend these things, especially for you guys in the program, are because you need to start to connect this feeling to, I should find this somewhere in my pitching. I should. And if I'm not getting close to the same type of energy and contraction, I'm not working hard enough, okay? And so we've got to find those similarities because it's going to make it easier for you to make adjustments. But if you never do a lat snap down or you never activate your lats, your serratus, any of those things, it's going to be hard for you to fix it or adjust it in a game because you don't know what it feels like. You don't know what the top level feels like. Okay? So, lat snap downs, remember, doesn't matter. If you have the bigger ball, small ball, same cues. We want this side, our sides to work to pull the ball down. That means when we pull the ball down, we can't flare the arm out. That's a whip. We don't want to whip. We want to lead with the elbow. Don't make that mistake. So watch me first. Ball, no matter what the size, above my eyes, pinching with my fingers, pinching my elbows together without letting them come inside. That's what starts to turn this on a little bit. And then when I squeeze my stomach and pull my stomach down, like I'm trying to pull myself into the earth, do not let that move your elbows, and that's going to make these work even more. So I'm here, pinch, squeeze, stomach is tight, and notice how tight that is, that motion. It is like I'm holstering something. I just let the ball go about right here. About right here is when the ball gets let go, and literally it's just let it go. From the energy from here to here is built up. And if you notice, energy from here to here is very similar to if I get a good slot, now I'm finishing. Same principle, same concept. We want to be really good at that pull down, and we've got to warm it up. So, set of 6. Here we go. Get your ball. Pinch, squeeze your stomach, squeeze your butt, and pull. Pick it up. Squeeze your stomach, squeeze your butt, and pull. Pinch, squeeze your stomach, squeeze your butt, and pull. 3 more. Pinch, squeeze your stomach, squeeze your butt, and pull. 2 more. Pinch, squeeze your stomach, squeeze your butt, and pull. Last one. Pinch, squeeze your stomach, squeeze your butt, and pull. Easy peasy. Easy, easy peasy. Grab the band. Put it around your forearm. Right there, crease of the elbow. You don't need your ball. We're right here. Now we're going to do the same motion, focusing on keeping this band from coming in here to the side. So hands, all we're doing is pull. Hands, pinch, imagine you have the ball, pull. Okay? You should be able to create the same type of muscle energy without the ball that you did with the ball. We're going to do 6 of those. Put the band in. Right here. Pinch and pull. Band here, pinch and pull. Band here, pinch and pull. 2 more. Pinch, pull. Pinch, pull. Band off. Start to feel some things happening, some movement. Okay, so this is our blended stuff. What we're going to do, we're all throwing from the front of the rubber. So remember our checkpoints from the front of our rubber. If you got a parent, if you got another phone, it's a great idea to film these to be sure you're doing the things I'm asking. Very, very great idea, because now you can compare, you go look back after the lesson, did it happen, did it not? So front of the rubber pitching, if I'm right-handed, that means my left foot, we find, if you want, you can put your right shoe on if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, put your left shoe on so you don't burn yourself on the mat, being nice. But let's imagine this white is the rubber. I want that sweet spot right next to the rubber so I can push off of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 checks, okay, 2 lat snap downs, then we're throwing. So the way this is going to work, front of the rubber pitching. If you have a band, have it close by the mat. If you don't have a band, that's okay. You're going to check from the rubber. So if I have a band, what's up, boss? I'm going to get in that same position, same stance, okay? And I'm going to do that same movement. Knee drop, hip drive. We're going to do 2. Can I? 2. As soon as that 2 is done, you can stay in the band. You don't have to. Just have the ball next to you. 2 lat snap downs. Pinch. 1. Pinch. 2. Out of the band. Front of the rubber. Set your feet. Now, here's your objective. How hard did I explode out and through the band? How hard did I? Can you make that moment happen in your pitch? You want to push that hard to where you feel your hips pop forward. We've got 2, 2, 2, 2. So we're here, okay? However you pitch, front of the rubber, we're just relaxed. Every time we pitch front of the rubber, it's just about what? Angle and projection. We learned that in the projection BP. Angle and projection. So I'm falling as deep as possible. And then I'm going. Explode, explode through. Okay? Throwing 2. All right, we're gonna go through that 4 rounds. 4 rounds. So now that we know what we're doing, okay, we have an idea, pitching from the front of the rubber. Like I said, front of the rubber means if you're right-handed, your left foot is against the edge of the rubber. Set yourself up. Bang. Explode through. Tie the feeling of what you did in the band or what you did with your check. Tie the feeling of your pull down. Put those 2 together. Now, if you don't have a band, super simple. Stay on your mat. Stay on your mat. Put your back foot against the rubber and do your check right there against the rubber. Push hard against the rubber. You can do that. You're ready. Fall and go. Fall and go. So here we go. Starting. 2, 2, and 2. I'm here. Remember, front foot, knee slides out over that calcaneal foot. 4th and 5th toe. Back heel can actually turn out a little bit. That's okay. Here. And pop it. 1. Set. And pop it. 2. Lat snap down. Pinch. Elbows, smash them through. And pull. 1 more. And pull. Good. Out of the band. Now you're throwing. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to throw these 2. Just listen to me talk as you set up. Remember your check marks. Remember your checkpoints. It makes no sense for you to get up on the rubber, have your heels inside. After I've already told you countless times, your heels should never fit inside your big toe. They should be in line with it or slightly outside. That's it. So have that first. Take your time. Be sure the knee slides out. Okay? Project. Find your fall. Be comfortable. Be patient. Be patient. It's like you're having to wait at a 50-mile-per-hour meatball. None of you get thrown to that hard, that slowly anymore. So you got to be patient. It's the hardest thing for you to do. Be patient as you fall. Create good angles. Spine matches the shin. When we push, spine matches the front shin. When that knee drops, if the knee doesn't drop down, and like I said, if you're recording this and you're seeing this, if the knee doesn't drop down, you're not making room for your pelvis to work through. It's just simple. That's simple anatomy and structure. My femur has to move down if my pelvis is going to move completely parallel to the ground. Okay, 2 should be done. Back in the band or back in front of the rubber. If that's all you have, I'll do this as if I was in front of the rubber for those that don't have the band attached or can't be close. Set up. Okay, we're just pushing and pop. Drive the hips. Make that check. Be explosive. Number 2, get set and drive it. Pop it, pop it. 2, smoke those hips. Now here's the thing, if you're not feeling your glutes contract and fire the way they did in our frog bridge, that's a brain thing. You're not mentally making that fire, or you're in a poor position, meaning your knee's likely not making room for your pelvis and hips to extend. One of those two. So notice if your knees aren't going down when you push, you're not getting the hip extension. Lat, pinch, 1, pinch, 2, 30 seconds, 2 pitches. Work it, work it, work it. Take your time. Breathe, 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 breathe. Focus on energy. Are you creating the energy? And are you understanding and feeling how hard you fire outside of the mat, and taking that and translating that to how I should work in my pitching motion? Those 2 feelings. You should be getting closer and closer every round we do. Back to it. I'm in the band again for this one. If you have the band, you stay in the band the whole time. Whole time. Whole time. If you need more tension, if you need those things, walk out a little more. Most of these bands stretch to about 8 feet, so you're good. Here we go. Set the feet. Spine matches shin. And attack it. Pop the feet. You're always keeping your ankles stiff. Your heels should never go down. Stiffness in the ankle leads to good stiffness in the knee. The knee drops down, hips finish. If we don't sequence well at the ankle, if it's loose, you're never going to get to the muscles around your knee and then to your hips. Okay? Set. And pop it. Drive. Drive, drive, drive out of the band. Or stay in it, doesn't matter. Snap downs, 2. Pinch it and pull. Harder every time. Smash the ball harder every time. Pinch it and pull. Good. You got 30 seconds, 2 pitches. 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Explode, explode. Your only objective here is what? Am I exploding and feeling that moment where that right leg takes me to my hips? Is that happening for me? If it's not happening, then I'm not getting to hip extension. I'm not. Push all the way through, boom, and explode off of it. Explode off of it. Drive it, drive it, drive it. Good, good, good. Okay, back to it, back to it. In the band, I'm gonna stay in the band. This is round 4. Like I said, better and better. So now, we're not going 2 and 2. For our last round, we're going 4-4, throwing 4 times. Here, smash it, smash it. Keep the head down, keep the spine all in line. Your neck is your cervical spine, so it has to stay in line with the rest of your torso. Here, and 1. Notice, I don't get any taller. My knees drop and my hips go through. Set, and 2. Push off those feet. Set, and 3. Get set, and 4. Lat snap downs. Drive it, drive it, drive it. Here we are, working through here. Squeezing our stomach, squeezing our butt, and pull. 1. Squeezing our stomach, squeezing our butt, pinch, 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 and pull. Harder every time. 2 more. Fingers, elbows, stomach, and pull. 3. Last one. Pinch, and 4. Good. Another round, another round. 4 pitches. Focus on what we're doing, focus on the task. Take your time. You got a minute. Breathe, 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 focus. We've only thrown 6 pitches. So this would be 10. So every one of them is everything you got into the ground. Explode into the ground. Feel yourself tie the energy that you create when you snap that ball down to the pull down phase of our pitching motion. Okay? Make sure that happens. Do it, do it, do it. 30 seconds. Attack, 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 attack. Rocket. Okay, so now next thing we're doing, we're driving through the band, same drill through the band. We're gonna go kickstand push for how we throw. In between that, the only merger is you wanna get your lightest ball. It can be big or small, does not matter. But now we have our staggered stance, okay? So we're in our regular pitching stagger, relaxed. We're focusing on knee drop, and all we're doing is driving the ball into a wall or tossing it, okay? So staggered stance, knee is out, look at the knee drop. I'm letting the ball go right here. I'm not throwing it with my arm. I'm letting it move, okay? We're gonna go 3, 3, 3 kickstand pushes. Kickstand push, remember, right foot, if you're right-handed, get in your regular stance, step forward. Now remember, this is your kickstand. Your left foot, your stride foot is now your kickstand if you're right-handed. Remember, the kickstand has to go back. So I've got to match my back leg. Everything has to be forward. Great job. If you're going to record this, record it and see if you're getting your angles, because some of us will be in our kickstand and we'll do this and then try to push out. Don't want it. Don't want it. Squeeze your toes, pull the toes up, drive through the hips. It's the same feeling, the same motion we're getting through that band. Push through the foot, get to your hip. Push through the foot, get to your hip. So kickstand. Notice I'm just falling. And I'm getting out. Push away from the rubber, explode. So here we go. 3, 3, 3. Oh, excuse me, 2, 2, 2. Let's just do 3, 3, 3. Same thing. 3 in the band. Drive the hips and pop it. 1. I'm focused on looking down, just letting my head go where my spine takes it. And 2. And 3. Good. So, like I said, we're focusing on pushing through the foot, letting that knee drop happen and finish through our hips. So like I said, if I'm here, there's that same knee drop. Look how deep that is. My knee doesn't stay this tall the whole time. Drops down, and then the hips work through. Hips work through. 3. Focus on that. You're letting the ball go right here. Set. Relax your hands. Okay? Focus on this. Fall and drop it. Drop the knee, attack it. 1. Smoke it through. And 2. Smoke it through. And 3. Drive the hips, feel the knees drop. 3 kickstands. Watch again if you still need help. Here. Right-handed. Step. Eyes, head, stay down. Lift, push. Get out. Get out. Don't worry about throwing your hands forward. Let your hip pop you. Let your hip hit your glove, and that's your signal to come up. 3 pitches. 3 pitches. You got 45 seconds. Kickstand push, kickstand push. If you're having trouble with kickstand push, send me a video if you're a member. Put it on the Facebook forum. Ask your mom to send the video, hey, am I doing it right? Because kickstand push is a trash drill. It's garbage if it's not executed correctly. It doesn't help you in any bit. It doesn't help you if we don't execute it correctly, because we want it to be responsible for us. Just don't worry about anything, just push. Because once you lift the kickstand, you're already at the angle you should find somewhere in your pitching motion. Okay, so let's go through it one more time, and then you're gonna do 2 rounds on your own. Okay, 3, 3, and 3. Here we are. In the band, get set, and pop it. 1, get set, and pop it. 2, get set, and pop it. 3, grab the ball, nice and relaxed. Remember what it looks like, driving the hip through, driving the hip through. From here, stance, relax, drop the knee, fall, drive the hips. Let that knee drop, smoke it. 2, 3. 3 pitches. 3 pitches. Kickstand, push. Kickstand. Explode off that rubber the same way you're exploding through there. So, like I said, I want you to do that 2 more rounds. So 3, 3, and 3. 3, banded hip drive, or 3 hip drives with your stride foot on the rubber. 3 of those. Those are your checks. 3 of the ball throws, staggered. Remember, if you're left-handed, everything is the opposite. Everything is the opposite. And then 3 throws. You do that 2 more rounds. 2 more rounds. If you want, after, continue to just work on everything you throw hard. And that's it. But don't throw tons of pitches. Throw 3, 5 at a time. Video, go look at them. Don't try to get everything right. What did we focus on today? Do I see a moment where my hips extend? And I'm going to tell you where that moment happens. When your foot that's on the rubber is between 60, okay, is between 60 and 30 degrees right here, at this moment, your butt can't be back. At this moment, your butt can't be back. It should be through. You should be stacked. So if I'm here and I go through my pitch, my knees fall, I get that initial hip, and then my hips add to my foot. And that bend that I had there pretty much prolongs me through. That's what's happening. And I'm working through. If you don't see that happening in video, and you see your leg get super long and super tall, if that's what your traditional foot that's on the rubber looks like, you didn't make room for your pelvis, so your knees didn't drop, which means you likely pulled your head and shoulders up before you actually put energy into the ground. Understand that, focus on it. 2 more rounds, attack. Everything is hard, everything is effort, everything you got. So recover. If you can't feel like you can put everything you have into the ground, don't pitch. Take an extra 20 seconds, breathe, and then go. Thank you guys so much for your time. I will see you all next week.